Do you sometimes feel unloved? God knows John and I do. But I'll tell you what you can do to help alleviate that situation. You can go to the platform by which you get this podcast, whether it's iTunes, whether it's Stitcher Radio, whether it's SoundCloud, whether it's YouTube, and you can leave us a 5-star review there. Don't worry about a review. Nobody reads them. We would, but most people wouldn't read them. But anyway, if you leave us a 5-star review, not only does that help us feel better about ourselves and we'll be more positive and produce even greater content for you, it would also help other people find the show. The more positive reviews a podcast gets, the higher in search indexes it'll place. So go to your platform, 5-star review, help us out. Please, please, please.
Smoke!
Yeah.
I heard you have seen I heard you're playing the new Uncharted 4.
That is
right?
correct.
Are you having fun?
Oh yes, I've gotten far enough into it that it's finally a game now. It's such a the the Uncharted series. It's such a cinematic experience that it's almost as much watching it as playing. And I mean, some people that turns off, but it doesn't me. And it doesn't a lot of people. I mean, it's a wildly successful game franchise, so a lot of people like it, and I'm one of them.
Well, speaking of cinematic, I heard that they might be making a movie about it. I know it's been rumored, but there's actually a release date scheduled for this one.
Yeah. The fate of that project is unclear.
Has so many.
Kind of like the thinking we do around here. Hello, folks. Guess what? You've tuned into it. You ought to know what it is. It's Unclear Thinking time. I am Larry Smoke, and that guy over there who started the conversation, his name is John Bates. Say hello, John.
Hello, John. That never gets old, right?
No, it doesn't. That's a classic. Yeah, the Uncharted movie, that has been in kind of development hell for a good 3 or 4 years now. It's been through at least 2 directors. I think there's a third lined up for it now, and it's to the point where I'll believe it when I see it. I think it would make a terrific flick, but I'll believe. Well, I think it would make a terrific flick. The entire concept of the video game adapted into a motion picture, it does not have a good track record now, does it?
No, it's very, very spotty. Warcraft is due to come out in just a week or 2, folks. So
as we record this, yeah.
Yep, that'll be a big one. And Assassin's Creed will be coming out after that with actually good actors, but as we can tell you, good actors do not always make a good translation of a movie.
I have a feeling about the Assassin's Creed flick, though. Of course, I'm biased because I love the game franchise, so I am a bit biased towards the source material. But I have a feeling, Michael Fassbender, an Oscar-nominated actor, and this is his project. He developed this material himself, and it's I don't know about a passion project, but because he's admittedly not a gamer, but he says something about the concept attracted him, and he's developed this himself. He chose the director himself, and he's worked with this director before. They did the recent adaptation of Macbeth that I would like to see, but I've heard good things about it. I've not seen it yet.
Well, the problem is that a good cast does not always make a good translation of a movie. Mm-hmm. The first game to movie that I ever remember existing, and there may be more before this, was Super Mario Brothers.
Oh.
And that's got Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Excellent actor. John Leguizamo.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent actor. Dennis
Hopper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, great cast. Horrible movie.
Well, Dennis Hopper was in some turkeys now.
Fisher Stevens is in that movie.
I'm drawing a blank. Who made Super Mario? Morton and Jankel.
I don't know who they are.
They are no, and you beat me to it. They are not household names as far as film directors go, but they did a lot of art films that were widely acclaimed, and they did a film with Dennis Quaid. It was a remake of a film noir classic from the 40s, and it was called DOA. And that was in 86 or 87, and I actually saw that. It was very, very good. And I can't understand why that movie just kind of came and went, and and to this day, no one remembers it. But I thought it was an excellent, stylish film noir adapted for the late '80s. But then they kind of blew whatever credit they built up by making Super Mario Brothers.
Did you ever see it?
I have not. I've heard enough about it that I feel like I've seen it, but I have not seen it.
I saw it. I saw it in 1993, and I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Oh,
but
gosh.
it was, and you know me, I tend to like things as soon as I see them because it entertained me for a couple hours. It did not take long for me to go, wow, that was not good. And I remember who's in it, but apart from that, I really can't tell you a whole lot about the plot at all.
That's another one. And not only have I not seen the movie, people describe me as a video gamer. I don't know if I deserve that title. I've never played any of the Mario titles. I mean, how can anybody consider themselves a video gamer if they've never played Super Mario? And I haven't. So
all that means is that it's possible that you never owned the Nintendo system.
Well, I did not.
Because that's the only place to get them. And if you own a Nintendo system, it comes with Mario generally. So if you haven't owned a Nintendo, you haven't played Mario.
Now, the old 2D across the screen style games, they never appealed to me. It really wasn't until the PlayStation era that I really got into video games. So the whole concept of Mario really kind of bypassed me.
Well, here, let me. You brought this list up to me, but let me go down this list, and you can tell. Hey, that got 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Super Mario Brothers.
How did it earn that much?
That's what I was thinking, actually. Let me go down this list, and you can say seen it or not seen it, and I'll say the same, and we'll give a general rating. We can go back and talk about some of the ones we want to.
Okay.
All right, Super Mario Brothers. Oh, by the way, folks, this is from Wikipedia. Double Dragon.
Have not. No.
I saw it. Not good. Street Fighter.
I have not.
I saw it. Killed Raul Julia. Not good.
I do remember that was pretty much the end of his life and career.
Yeah, he died right after.
Yeah, what a way to go out.
Yeah. Great actor.
Yes, he was. I remember thinking at the time that it was a damn shame that was his swan song.
I remember thinking at the time he must have had medical bills. But anyway, Mortal Kombat with a K.
I have not.
I have. The first one was okay. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Also have not.
Not good. 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, God.
Wing Commander.
Always wanted to, but never did. Even though I heard it was terrible, I still wanted to see it, but I never did.
Love the game. Hated the movie. 10% Rotten Tomatoes. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Yes, I did.
I did too.
I actually liked it.
I enjoyed it too.
For what it was, yeah.
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. That's animated.
Yeah, I have not.
I haven't either.
That was it was a kind of bizarre form of animation, was it not? Wasn't it some kind of strange CGI hand-drawn meld?
Yeah, it's definitely a kind of an anime because that's the whole basis of the game too.
Yeah.
Let's see, Resident Evil, first one.
I actually did see that. Yes.
I did too. I liked it. Okay.
For what it was, yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life.
I also liked, not as much as the first Tomb Raider flick, but I did like it.
Right. It was a lot more disjointed, but yes, I liked it too. House of the Dead.
Nope.
Never even heard of it.
Nope.
Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Nope.
I saw it. Not nearly as good as the first one. Doom.
Wanted to see it, but because it was a Dwayne Johnson flick, but I have not seen it.
Yep. It's also got Carl Urban in it, I believe.
I'm remembering right. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. I thought so.
Yeah, I saw it. We can talk about that one more in a second. Okay. Blood Rain.
No, have not.
I saw that one. It's got I don't remember. It's bloody. I remember that, and there's a lot of nudity. Silent Hill.
I did not even know that was a video game property. I thought that was a straight up horror film.
Yeah, it's a video game franchise.
I found that out later, but at the time, I did not even know that was a video game property.
Postal.
No.
Never even heard of it as a game.
No, that's completely unfamiliar to me.
Resident Evil Extinction.
No, I've not seen any of the Resident Evils after the first one.
Almost said extension, and that's basically the truth. How do we stretch this thing out a little more? Yeah, I've seen it. Hitman.
I actually saw Hitman.
Yeah, me too.
And
that's the one with Raylan Givens in it.
It kind of struck me as a Saturday night Cinemax action flick. I'm not Skinamax, Cinemax.
Yeah. I liked it. It was weird to see Timothy
Olyphant.
Oliphant with no hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the lady who plays the Russian mistress chick in every movie that requires a Russian mistress.
Olga Kurylenko, yeah.
Yes, that's
She's
her.
quite attractive.
In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale.
I have not.
I haven't either, and the title pretty much tells you everything you need to know about that.
Okay.
I mean, they put a Dungeon Siege tale in there to let you know it was connected to the video game franchise.
No.
So, yeah. Far Cry.
I did not know that flick existed. I've played some of the first game in that series and have wanted to play some others, but I haven't yet. I didn't realize there was any kind of film adaptation of that. How was that done? He said, looking on Wikipedia. Ooh, it's an Uwe Boll flick.
Yeah.
Oh, that tells me about all I need to know right there.
I think Dungeon Siege, In the Name of the King, and Dungeon Siege.
I think he did one of the In the Name of the King flicks too. Yeah. Anything with his name on it is usually a sign to stay away from it.
Yeah, he's got Uwe Boll. That was his too. It's got Jason Statham, but yeah, Uwe Boll. Max Payne.
Max Payne I did not see, but heard decent things about it.
I saw it. That's the one with
Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah. Wahlberg. Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li.
No.
I knew it existed, but I've never seen it. I think it stars the person who played Superman's girlfriend on Smallville.
Yeah. Well, Kristen something or another.
Yeah. Christian Cruz.
Crook.
Her.
Yeah, her.
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
I did see that. I thought it was pretty good.
I like
despite what some people would call whitewashing, didn't faze me in the least. But
I've seen it several times. I liked it well enough. It's a good way to kill a couple hours. Resident Evil Afterlife.
No.
Me either. Resident Evil Retribution.
No.
Me either. Silent Hill Revelation.
No.
Me either. Need for Speed.
I saw that 6 weeks, 2 months ago. I had it on the DVR for a while and finally made myself watch it. And again, for what it was, I didn't think it was that bad.
Cool. Maybe I'll watch that one. Hitman Agent 47.
I have not seen that one.
That's the one without Timothy Oliphant. Angry Birds movie.
I did see Angry Birds movie. And it was not as good as the marketing campaign. The marketing campaign gave you all the best bits. So,
well, here you go. That one is the highest Rotten Tomatoes score, and that would be 43%. Now, the 43% is the critics' score.
Right.
It got 91% from
viewers.
Viewers.
Well,
yes.
It's in excess of 200 million at the domestic box office. I mean, it's somebody likes it. And again, mean, for kids, I can perfectly understand it. It was funny. It had its moments. I just wished all the best moments had not been in all the marketing.
Oh, I'm mistaken. I said 43% was the highest. No, 44% is the highest with Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Okay.
The anime.
I forgive your error.
Everything else is lower by the critics. And
everything else on this list is to come.
Yes. That would be Warcraft coming soon, Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, the final chapter. I believe that when I see it. Uncharted, Sonic the Hedgehog, that's going to be interesting. Sly Cooper, which I don't even know the game. And Dragon's Lair, the movie. Although I loved that video game when it was an arcade-only thing, and you had to spend $1,000 in quarters to make progress in that game. Because as soon as you did anything wrong, you died. All you had to do was open the wrong freaking door, and you died. So,
what do you think it is that the concept of the video game is so hard to adapt into a narrative film structure that people find entertaining? What do you think?
I think that what it is sort of the same thing that superhero movies used to suffer from, and that being that Hollywood studios would go, well, there seems to be a lot of money in this particular thing that I really don't know much about. Let's make a movie of it. And they make a movie, and they have no connection to the source material. And that means that they're just making a movie on a superficial level, and that never works well. And superhero movies had the same problem. Now you're getting people who actually love the source material,
grew up with the source material, and understand. Yeah, you may have a very valid point. That's the superhero movie. Well, I guess we can agree was probably the first X-Men flick was when the modern superhero movie genre really kind of matured and came of age, and from that point forward, the people making those movies were people that, like you said, they grew up with the material. Not only did they enjoy it, they understood it.
Yep.
And to really translate something, I guess you really have to understand something to translate it from one medium to another. Maybe we won't see good video game movies until today's 13 to 25-year-olds become 30 to 50-year-olds and are hired by major studios and give them blank checks.
And another thing is, a lot of the movies on here, or a lot of the video games that are the source material for these movies, they have a storyline based in it, but that may not be the grand pull of the game. The game goes beyond the storyline, or the storyline is not always a major focus. Like if I said, what's the storyline to Tomb Raider? You would say, well, there's this woman and she's got pistols and she wears shorts and she jumps around all over the place and she solves puzzles and she goes through traps and she shoots things. That's not a storyline.
No.
Now, they did a reasonably good job, because what they could do is they could take that iconic imagery, badass woman who raids tombs, has 2 pistols, and tends to wear short shorts, and she's just like Indiana Jones, but cooler and a woman.
Well,
and you can flesh that out.
Tomb Raider, yes, as a concept is very broad, but if someone were to ask a Tomb Raider player, someone familiar with the games, what's the story of Tomb Raider, the first way they would respond would be which game. Each game has a storyline.
Yes.
You are correct. The storyline does not arc over all these games. So if someone were completely new to the concept of Lara Croft Tomb Raider, yes, you would have to give a very broad generalization like you just did. But each of the games in the series had storylines.
Well, okay, of the movies in here that I like the best, Lara Croft, I thought Resident Evil was okay, not the best. It's a way to kill a couple hours. Prince of Persia, I like.
Well, the games on this list that have the higher Rotten Tomato scores, and I think we could agree, even the games that you and I, the movies that you and I think were better movies, are based on games that have a narrative.
Well, yes, they have a narrative and a character that they're based on. And you can do something with that. You can take that character and build something with it. Super Mario Brothers, I'm pretty sure, was convinced by people who were like, well, this is kind of quirky and cool, and we'll just make this very, very loose plot, and people will recognize Mario and they'll love it.
Right.
Well, I'm not sure what they were thinking, frankly, but same thing with Wing Commander. Let's take these young, hip actors and throw them into this space movie. What's a space movie franchise that has Wing Commander? People like that.
Yeah, we can slap that title on it.
Yeah, and it had. That's all it really had to do with the rest of the game. Frankly, it was the names of some of the characters, and the fact that they fought cat people. But like Doom, okay, the big problem with Doom is the plot was weak and wishy-washy, and at some point they decided, you know what would be cool? Let's get out of this whole third-person narrative we've been doing like a normal movie, and let's go into the first-person Doom mode.
The game is a first-person shooter, so I guess somebody thought that would be a good idea to...
Yeah, so Carl Urban's got to escape from this particular place where everything's going wrong and these horrible monsters are rushing at him, so he's rushing through the corridors, and all you really get to see is the gun in his hands, and he shoots things, throws grenades, hits things with his gun, and all you see is the hands and the gun. And that's it. And at that point, I was like, ooh, that's horrible. That was a horrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this list of the flicks that are upcoming, I guess probably starting with Prince of Persia, from there on to present, I'm seeing most all of these properties are based on games that are story based and not necessarily a Super Mario, which is basically repetitive action, or a straight first person shooter. These games have a narrative to them, and the video gameplay is bridging story beats. Now, well, the exceptions to that are probably Need for Speed. Admittedly, I have not played Need for Speed, but I'm pretty sure it is primarily a racing simulator. That concept was the story concept for that flick was created for the screen. That didn't come from any game. Ratchet and Clank, I know, is very beloved and long-lived, but I have never played it. I am fairly certain that probably has a little bit of a concept to it, but doesn't have a big story arc. Angry Birds, of course, has no story arc whatsoever.
But that means you can do a lot with it.
And yeah, so you beat me to the punch. One of the things I did admire about Angry Birds movie was the entire audacity of taking something that, and I don't mean this as a slanderous way, something that ridiculous, and crafting a story out of it in such a way that for 100 minutes, even as an adult, I was moderately entertained. The rest of the list of movies upcoming, Warcraft has a storyline to it. Assassin's Creed has an excellent storyline to it that spans through all these games. I'm singing the movie's praises and haven't even seen it yet, so I'm really showing my bias, but it's the way I feel. I really do believe Assassin's Creed is going to be excellent. I don't see with the talent involved and the source material how they can screw it up. That being said, they'll screw it up, but fingers crossed. And then Uncharted, if it happens, I don't see how that can miss. I mean, that's for the folks that play Uncharted. That is a movie. It is a playable movie, and I'd
agree.
The story that follows, the primary character Nathan Drake and all the supporting cast. There's enough in these games that you learn about these characters and you come to love them, and that's just tailor made for a film adaptation.
And the thing is, I think we're reaching that point where the people making these movies are the people who grew up playing video games, and they understand what people like, what they like about video games, what draws them to the video game. So it becomes less superficial and more meaningful. Uncharted, I think, got an excellent chance because it's already a movie.
Yeah.
Warcraft has the advantage of having a good, solid director who actually likes the game. And Blizzard has been heavily involved in the process the entire time. And frankly, if you were to take the Blizzard cinematics and the Blizzard trailers that they have for their games and you were to string them together, that's some of the best CGI movie making I have ever seen in my life. They do story well. So I have hopes for that one. We'll see.
And conversely, we're also probably at a stage in the evolution of the video game that the video games themselves are becoming more movie-like. Not just Uncharted, not just Assassin's Creed, but video games as a whole. With the millions and millions of dollars and years of manpower that go into making these A-list titles, I think developers understand that to set themselves apart from the competition, there has to be a unique narrative, a unique concept, a unique storyline to draw audiences to the games. And since we've already got a narrative, a storyline, a concept that has a cinematic feel to it, it just lends itself to a better adaptation. So hopefully the age of the video game movie curse is coming to an end. It feels like it is.
Well, and there have been some okay ones. I mean, none of them have been.
There have been enough to prove be the exception to the rule.
Right. There have just been a lot of bad ones.
And there are even some that weren't theatrical flicks. I mean, I'm looking further down this Wikipedia article, and it's jarring the memory a little bit. There was the Halo Nightfall.
That's true.
Made for Xbox television series from last year, which I have not watched yet because I wanted to play. I've never played Halo. There's another strike against me. I take that back. I've played a little bit of Halo 1. I have not really gotten into it, but I have booted up and played like the introduction level. But in essence, I have not played Halo. So I was kind of waiting till I played some Halo before I sat down and watched any of those. I mean, they're a year old, but I've got an Xbox. I've got Xbox Gold, so I can watch them whenever I choose to. I just have been putting it off till I play some of the games. God knows when that'll be. But I hear, too, that it's a good thing. Ridley Scott's production company was behind that, so I hear good things about it.
Yeah, the list we went down was basically just
theatrical
releases. Although it really is hard for me to believe that some of these were in the actual theater. Well, I know Double Dragon was in the theater, but House of the Dead, I don't remember that being in the theater. Alone in the Dark.
Oh, there was one that is not on this list that I remember going to the theater to see and leaving and thinking, dear God, that's 95 minutes of my life that I will never ever get back, and it just burnt part of my soul. The Dragon Ball Z movie.
Is that animated?
Yes. If you must apply a word to it, yes, I suppose that's the only word in the English language that remotely could be applied to what that thing was. But that's almost an insult to the word animation.
Right.
God, that was. You hear people make detrimental judgments of things, saying, "Oh, it's just to sell the toys," or "Oh, it's just pushing this and that." I'm not exaggerating. This movie was a 95-minute commercial for Dragon Ball Z cards, and I was never into that. Was in the company of a child at that time who was into it, hence why we went to see it. And admittedly, I did not behave very well. I should have sucked it up for his sake, but it was just too bad. I could not keep it. I could not keep it inside. How bad that was, and I think I made the kid mad. But
do me a favor. Don't look at the list.
Okay.
Any thoughts on which of these made the least at the box office?
Well, without looking at the list to refresh my memory, so I have to go by memory.
Or you could just look at the left side of the screen and not look at
okay. I'll try to. I'll close one eye. How about that? Well, I would think it would be one of the lesser known titles, something like Alone in the Dark or the DOA or the Postal.
Postal, you got it.
It was Postal?
$146,741.
Dear Lord, what is the property that was based on Postal? An action comedy. Uwe Boll. Stars Dave.
Uwe Boll made it. He probably made it for like $10,000, so he made $130,000 profit on that.
Stars Dave Foley and J.K. Simmons and David Huddleston. So there's a couple of names in it. It's an adaptation of the video game. Well, let's go click on this link and see what the video game was. Postal is an isometric top-down shooter video game published in 1997. Okay, so it's Uwe Boll himself bought the movie rights.
Of course.
That has a lot to say right there. A remaster of the game is to be released for PlayStation 4 sometime this year.
Second lowest was Far Cry, 743,000.
Well, that's another one. I saw, again, I wasn't even aware that was ever produced for the screen.
Any thoughts on which one made the most?
Well, not counting Angry Birds since that's still active, I would guess, Prince of Persia?
Good guess. 336,365,000.
Yeah, now look at it. Yeah, well, I would have guessed the Tomb Raiders were probably second place, but no, I see that a couple of the Resident Evil movies have outpaced the Tomb Raider movies.
Yeah, I don't know how they got that, because I don't remember those being any major thing.
No, I always thought those played bigger on home video and cable than they did into theaters.
Maybe this includes that, because Lara Croft is $274 million. That's decent.
Yeah, especially for 2001, that was good money back then.
Super Mario Brothers made $20 million,
which for 1993 probably wasn't awful.
No, not awful. Not enough to get a sequel out of.
How does Street Fighter make $99 million? That's what I want to know.
Because it has Jean-Claude Van Damme in it.
Well, yeah, that's probably right.
And it was during the time when people would go see it. I think that was one of the ones that started to kill his career, too, actually. There's always got to be something you regret. So, hopefully the days of bad... Well, I don't know. Until they actually started... Marvel Cinematic Universe started making the superhero movies the right way, I didn't actually think we were going to get superhero movies made the right way. Yeah. So I can't say if it's going to happen with video games, but I hope so.
I think you and I are in agreement that all hope is not lost. I mean, what we've gotten in the last couple of years and what it looks like we're getting this year and next year, I think there's a lot of hope that the curse of the video game movie is coming to an end, and thankfully so. I mean, I think 25 years of a genre being a joke is long enough.
I agree.
What do you think, folks? Have you played any of these games, seen any of these movies? Do you care? What of them were your favorite, least favorite? Are we forgetting any? Let us know what you think. unclearthinking@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Tell us. We'd love to hear from you. You can hit us up on Twitter as well. Well, John, what's your Twitter handle over there, buddy?
Mine is Cuhullen, Cuhullen. At Cuhullen, of course.
And mine is at LA Smoke, SMOAK.
Until next time, we will see you at the movies.
Or in front of a video game console. If you spy on us, that is.
That's right.